Good morning. I am sitting at the GAF in Fredericton, the Global Alliance Foundation Fund. Look, I'll give you a little tour in the spinny chair. There's a ping pong table. Here's a little setup of a desk. There's where we do yoga and singing bowl healing. Pool table. There's a sauna. My laptop. This is where my love works, and also I come sometimes when I'm in Fredericton and need a space to work. So I'm feeling pretty chill and zen at the moment. I just had neuro at the Mindshift Clinic, and I'm meeting with Joan Wright, the founder of the Mindshift Clinic, in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to have her on the podcast, and I'm really excited. We're both like, it is time to meet. And so I'm really excited to meet her in person. We've emailed before, and we've kind of seen each other in passing and know things about each other, but haven't actually gotten to meet yet. So I'm excited about that. I wanted to jump on here and do a live today just because I got so much feedback from the message of that it's not always light. And that's what I'm really feeling the full moon was telling us, is that it's not always light. Like, we live in such a time where we want things done so fast, and I'm also someone that's like, I want it done yesterday, and if I have the vision, I want it to happen right now. And why is it taking so long when I know how great it can be and how many people it's going to help and how I feel about it, and I want other people to have this great feeling and get in the heart, etc., etc. But the moon's telling us, and the planets right now, Pluto's in retrograde, it's telling us right now that yes, let go of the things that aren't serving you. Let go of those people and the situations that keep blatantly showing you to your face, but also like internally, like you can feel it in your heart. You can feel it in your gut. You can feel it like there's something not okay. And it keeps showing you, and you're avoiding it because you don't want to deal with tough emotions. And we live in such a time where it's like, well, I could just put on a Netflix show and watch that for an hour, or I could go do this for an hour, and like always trying to escape what's in front of us. But over time, you can't escape your emotions. So you're going to have to show up and feel them and deal with them. And also embrace, like, how do I let go of those attachments I have on things? Or how do I let go of the things that I'm scared of letting go? So really just doing that mini inventory and showing up in the ways that you need to. The Pluto in retrograde right now is also telling us that things are going to go a lot slower. So again, coming back to, we live in a time where we want to kind of pave over our emotions, or we want to escape them. And we feel that escaping is also covering things up by doing things really fast. So that's where that feeling is, say if you're like, you overeat, or you're eating too much sugar and you feel like you shouldn't be eating that much sugar. It's really just you trying to get that quick fix, that fast feeling of that high, and getting away and escaping from those emotions. But the retrograde and just having that full moon is telling us, let go of the things that keep showing you that it's not working. Whether it's an emotion or it's a person, and again, it may be showing you right to your face, or it could just be a gut feeling. Listen to it. The time is now. It keeps showing you, listen to it, and also realize that the things that you do want, those feelings in your heart, your desires, your surroundings, the things that you do want are coming. It's just a slower process right now. And so that's the other message for today, is trusting in the process and knowing that everything's not going to happen super fast, like an internet connection. It's happening on more of an energetic, deep, core cellular level. So trusting that those things are coming to you. And right now, the way your reality looks, it will look very different, whether it's the summer or the end of this year, or just think what your life will look like next year at this time. Really just finally jumping in 2 feet, head first, whole heart, just getting in there, getting rid of what you don't need, and really welcoming what feels good for you and trusting it's a slower process than usual. The post I made the other day about jumping in and also noticing that it's not all light is that's another thing that we try to escape. So there's so many like spiritual teachers out there, and this is what I'm noticing in the spiritual community is like there's a lot of spiritual people that aren't real. Like there's all this like, oh, I just sit and I meditate 20 minutes a day, and then it gets me in alignment, and then that's how I go about my day, and I eat perfect, and my relationship's perfect, and it's all because I did that 20-minute meditation. It's like, no, that's not real. Like if you were that enlightened, you wouldn't be living on the planet. Like you would be gone in some astral plane where you aren't living in a human body. Like I'm just feeling that there's so many people, even in like the cannabis community, the spiritual community, so many communities that there's not that realness. And then you hear people talking about PTSD or overeating or I have IBS or I have these things, and people are like, oh geez, like you have a lot wrong with you. Let's not talk about that, or let's get rid of those emotions and symptoms. Let's rush through. And it's just not real. So the post I made the other day that I wanted to touch base on again is knowing that yes, like we are light beings. Like we're cellular beings. We're going through ascension, awakening. We're living in this new way that I kind of envision it like the sun has risen. It's a new way. It's the new day. And we can all learn how to live in this new way. But there's still the shadow sides of jealousy and anger and those emotions we don't know how to process because no one's taught us how to. Like years ago, it was don't talk about your emotions or fight. And now we're living in a time that it's like people are talking about their emotions so much that they don't even know how to balance the sharing and the processing. Hi, everyone. Oh, thank you about this. My overalls, I just got them. So it's always just coming back to the feeling of it's not always light. There's light and the shadow. And the shadow side of us is the ego that hasn't been embraced yet. So you don't need to fear the ego. You just more are going inwards, seeing what it does. Trying to decide, is your ego helpful? Is it telling you too many things? Is it debilitating you? Is it causing you to stay stuck and wherever you are? Noticing what your ego does. For me, I can procrastinate because I create that fear of it's not going to be perfect, or I want things to be this way and that way before I do something. So I could do something like that, or it can create times where I'm not feeling safe, and instead of talking about why I'm not feeling safe, I'm now going into this feeling of attack, and that's like survival mode of like, get away, and making up stories or things. So the shadow side is still there to be embraced. So that's something you also don't want to get caught up in is trying to outrun your ego, or outrun your feelings, outrunning the things that you're noticing. Just embracing it, and it's really uncomfortable. It's really scary, but that's how you transmute it to light, and to love. So you can't take something that is dark, like those shadow sides of you. You can't take that and just be like, oh, it just doesn't exist, or oh, we'll just ignore it. Like, you have to embrace it. Like, you literally have to like hug it, love it, embrace it, and then it can be transmuted to something else. And coming back to that Pluto in retrograde is that it takes a longer time than what we want. But we're light beings, so in light language, in the fifth dimension, the now, things are happening fast. But here on this earth, in these human bodies, things take longer. And that's something that I feel like we're really struggling with too, is we're starting to awaken and realize that I'm so powerful. We're all powerful. We all have this power in us that's the creator. We can create and vision and dream and manifest and change and transform. But then we're like, shit, like I gotta pay the bills. I can't walk everywhere. I need that car. I also like my internet, so I'd like to keep that. Like, so you're still living in that human body with the human experience, and we're starting to come into a time of how do we balance both? And that's really what I'm dedicating my podcast, my YouTube channel to now, and that's why it's now called Live the New Way now, because we're living this new way that pharmaceuticals aren't working, but I still have symptoms. So how do I treat those symptoms? Well, now we look at them from an energetic and a light being, a light worker way of what are those symptoms trying to tell you. Then the slower process is the food and the movement and the meditation and the Reiki or the cannabis. It's that slower way, but that's the real true way of change and transforming and healing. So if you haven't already, on iTunes, you can look up Live the New Way Now. There's an E on the end. It's a play on my last name, but also about living in the present moment, which is what we're all trying to do. Go there, subscribe. There's lots of episodes. I share weekly free episodes. You can also follow me on my Facebook under Lady Now, LADY space NOWE, where I share videos like this. Also channeled messages from Spirit, Kuan Yin, about compassion and empathy and healing. I share when my yoga classes are. I'm also thinking about starting to add some yoga classes to my YouTube channel. YouTube, same thing, Lady Now or Live the New Way Now, either of those. And this past weekend was just the full moon, and it was 420. So that April 20th date is celebrating cannabis. And this year in Canada was different because now it's legalized. But also, I was able to be on a podcast called Spiritual Talk with Winnie. She is the founder of Connect Star, and I've done some classes on their platform, which you can find on my website, ladynow.com, for free. There's 2 on there, totally free. And she hasn't had anyone on there to talk about spirituality and cannabis, so I was really happy she asked me, because I love talking about love and spirit and energy. I could just talk about that all day, and healing in the heart all day, but then also adding that cannabis aspect to it, and was able to talk about like what's the endocannabinoid system, and for anyone that's new, what should you know, or for people that have been using cannabis for a while, what else should you know, and the whys and the what. So I got to answer a ton of her questions. Plus, we just had a lot of fun because she talks a lot about spirituality, and that's her whole platform, is on spirituality. So go to the link in my bio on Instagram. You can find it. You can also find it on her podcast, Spiritual Talk with Winnie, and have a listen. Let me know what you think, and I will jump back on here again soon. Have a great day, and remember, things are going to go slower than you want, but now is really the time to let go of the things that you don't want to keep manifesting or having in your life.